My name is David Garrett. I am the Technical Director for Thomas Nelson Community College Performing Arts. For me, I think that creative liberty really ends when you disrupt what the playwright wanted to do with their text. I think that if one is using something so well known and trying to break it into pieces and make something new out of it, that's a very specific creative process. For our creative process, what we've tried to do is to dig into the script itself and look at all of the ways in which Shakespeare's language and in which the structure of the drama and the shape of the story allow us to tell it in a more modern setting, but without sacrificing any of the playwright's intents.
Fun fact, I was not going to audition for this show. I have been doing a lot of shows and I was going to take a break. And then my friend told me to audition. And I didn't audition for Romeo. I just auditioned, just to audition. And I guess I didn't have a reason to audition. So my reason for the show is that, I don't know, I wanted to do another show.
My story is not as cool. I did audition because I wanted to be in the show. No, I just really love the characters. I think Juliet has a lot of strength to her, and I appreciate that.
The thing I love about Shakespeare is how timeless he is, right? So with each update, there's new relevance, and I feel like Romeo and Juliet has a lot to say about 2019.
I mean, it's a classic. It's almost every story is derived from this. If there's a love story, someone's going to equate it to Romeo and Juliet. So to be a part of something that is so classic and so well known by everyone, it's my first Shakespeare, so what better way to do it than with, the best.
Well, you can't go wrong with Shakespeare. There's a reason it's stuck around for so long. I mean, these shows are just as relevant right now as they've ever been. I mean, think about Romeo and Juliet. It's about a clash of cultures. And I think that David has really started to take that and make it his own and run with it, and he's really doing something interesting with it. I mean, we live in a really fragmented society, and so what better way to represent that is to show that societies have been fragmented all through history, and we've survived. And so I think that's part of the message.
It's a really timeless tale, and it has a lot of different ventures that you can go towards. And I'm really drawn in by the director's vision. David's got a really great vision for what he wants in this show.
David Garrett is directing it, and in addition to being one of my favorite people on the whole planet, he's a wonderful director. I worked with him previously doing Shakespeare, and I knew that I needed to take the opportunity to work with him again.
The way David does the scenes and things like that, he just paints a picture for you where it just clicks with the script. So when you read it, you're like, what? And then he tells you, okay, imagine this. And then you're like, oh my God.
And then everything makes sense. Everything makes sense finally.
It makes sense.
He puts it in a modern scenario.
Exactly.
So you can click it in your head and relate to it and act better with the words.
And it helps way more with the lines. Because when you get it, you think of that scenario that he tells you, and you play it off, and it just works.
He really sat us all down to read through the script and to see what we're saying, what we're actually saying. He's telling everybody, do you know what that word means? Because the actors, I'm just like, I sure don't know what that means.
Yeah.
But the word means something, and Shakespeare wrote it for a reason. And so part of a huge challenge in the show was learning all the language, learning what it means, and learning how to portray it in a way that actually has the weight of the original text.
You should almost be able to articulate to the audience what it is being said without them having to listen to the language. It should be all through the performance, especially in Shakespeare, because a lot of people don't know the language, so you really have to know it. The actors really have to know it and convey it so they can get past the language.
I think of it kind of like a foreign language. So if you're a person that's speaking Spanish but it's not your first language, you're kind of translating it in your head before you then speak it in Spanish. But really fluent people don't do that. Well, in acting, you're always making that translation, especially with Shakespeare. And so there's an extra layer that you don't normally have with acting that makes it just a little bit harder. Yeah. But after a while it falls away and it's all good.
So Romeo and Juliet in general is a very known show, but I think for our show, I'm black and she's white, so the story there is great, and it kind of plays like Shakespeare wanted to play it that way, accepting people and understanding love and what people would do for love, true love. I think that's something that audience will take away.
Especially the take that we have on it, it's a really refreshing story to have, especially in our political climate as well as just our climate. It's really hard to connect with someone who has opposing views as you do. and still find like a common ground and be able to share love with them and spread love and not get into like fights as there are many in this show.
Well, I mean, multiple characters die, including myself, so I think it's gonna be some gasps for sure.
The sweat in the trash.
Yeah, trash, okay?
The fight scene.
We've got some pretty good fight scenes. If anybody isn't squeamish, I'm sure they'll love the blood as well.
Yep. I think that they'll be surprised by the modern atmosphere.
Yeah.
Because everyone expects it to be long dresses and somber and stuffy people, and then there's a big dance party.
I think one thing that's going to surprise people is the dance party. I'm not giving anything away. But that's going to get
The dance number. That's what'll surprise the audience the most.
We don't want to give too much away.
Yeah, we won't.
The dance will surprise the audience the most because it's something that's unexpected. They thinking that, oh, it's Shakespeare, you know, it's going to be this and that. But little do you know.
About the dance party, I have a granddaughter who goes to college here. She's going to be so embarrassed.
Yeah. I think what the audience will connect with is the juxtaposition between Shakespeare's story and what's going on in our lives today. And David, as he directs, is drawing and playing up all of those similarities. And so the audience is going to be able to relate to those things.
We're doing a bit of the more modern version of it, and I think going to the modern setting of it, we are relating the whole idea of the show to people, and they'll understand it better than they would.
I get a lot of my character work from the table work, so spending a lot of time with the lines, with the circumstances, and then building it from there. And so I find that when I have all of that foundation, when I step onto the stage, I am no longer Lael, and I am completely the character.
I feel like I couldn't be anyone else in Romeo and Juliet because of how I am. You know, Lord Capulet is just me. I can totally see why.
I definitely have started to dress like Romeo. He wears sweaters all the time. I'm like black, so I've started to do that somewhat. But I think mentally, like for acting wise, I just let him kind of take over. He's his own person, you know.
Will is outstanding. He is probably the kindest person I have ever met. Just his sheer love of what he does and the people around him. I strive to be like him, honestly. After I met him, I was like, wow, this is what it's like to be a fantastic person.
Yeah.
He's so kind, and he loves what he's doing with all his heart, and you can tell that it shows in his work.
She's a dork. No, she's really cool. I was kind of scared, actually, because I didn't know her. Yeah, she's cool.
I think that my favorite part has been the cast. It's because I have done a lot of shows here. I know quite a few of them, but I've never met Robert before, and I've really enjoyed working with him as well.
The cast is phenomenal, and so like being able to see them just kind of go around and play with each other has been really fun.
Yeah, I've never been a part of any show before, so what better way to learn how to be an actor than to tell actors what to do and watch them do it?
You're not wrong.
There is a community and a family vibe that I really enjoy. It's my favorite thing.
It's just amazing how much everybody here cares about the show and how it's going to turn out.
Getting to know people.
I second that. Yeah.
I was very nervous coming into this because I don't know a lot of people here. And getting to know the people, they're very quick to accept us.
Getting to work with people that I already know, and then meeting new people that come in, I think that's really cool. And then making bonds and being a family.
Thomas Nelson Community College and their performing arts department are a family. So this has become home and family and support system, and also a place that when I make a decision about grad school will be very hard to leave.
At TNCC, the directors here and the people who audition for these shows, they're coming together to put a show on for the community. And it's people who are very respectful of one another.
Everybody's so professional at the same time, but at the same time, everybody cares so much about each other. Like, you see people running lines with people who are not even in that scene, just to help them get everything together and be ready on time.
I think the really fun part about our job is we get to tell these stories to audiences, and that's why I love theater.
It's just a great responsibility to be able to tell the story.
being in a group of people that are just as passionate as you are about the thing you love to do is so like, I don't know, it makes me so happy to finally be around people that, oh yeah, we're all here for the same thing, we have the same dream, we're gonna make it happen.
It makes you feel like you're at home, and like you're never looking at time like, oh, when do I leave? You're just like, okay, what's the next scene? All right.
I was like, darn, now we have to leave.
Yeah.
Oh man, now we're all ended.
You guys should come see it.
I mean, it's got everything. It's got fights, it's got dancing, it's got romance,
it's got multiple suicides,
politics. I mean, it's got it all.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, and at the heart of it, family.
Yeah.